Hi, hello.
Hello. Hi.
Is this Fred?
Yeah, it's me.
Hey, Fred. This is Tommy Bryson. How are you?
I'm pretty good. You?
I'm doing good, man. Just to let you know, this call is gonna be recorded and potentially uploaded. Cool.
Perfect. Yeah, no problem. And first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time. And I actually discovered your YouTube channel a few days ago. And props,
Mm-hmm.
man. Your content is really high quality, and it's pretty helpful.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So, how can I help?
So, I just wanted to talk to you about to get maybe some guidance, maybe because I have all of these side hustle ideas that
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm just not sure where to focus really because there are so many options nowadays in terms of passive income,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just don't know which one to pursue and what decision to make. So I was thinking that maybe your background could help me make like a more objective decision.
Okay. So, it sounds like this, right? My name is Fred. I'm 29 years old. I'm a dad of two. I make $3,300 a month. Doing construction, right? Architecture.
Yeah, yeah. I studied architecture, and I'm doing construction management in the healthcare department. So, and also, by the way, my I'm a French speaker, so my English is maybe not up to par, but
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah.
good, man. Your English is
Thanks.
fine. And then you have like a lot of ideas for side hustles because it sounds like one of your goals is to make passive income. Does that make sense? Does
Exactly.
that like round up everything?
Pretty
Okay.
much, yeah.
All right. So the first thing that I kind of thought about when I read your message, like your whole like thing, I just felt like you were doing too much, like trying to do way too much, right? So
hmm
simplicity, right? First question I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you is, what do you want? You want passive income, right?
I want passive income, and to be honest, that passive income, I want to use it to be able to pay my debt. Because
Okay. So that wasn't
as
mentioned.
I
How much
yeah.
money do you owe?
So in terms of credit cards, like should I only tell you my own or my family's, like my wife and I, or
Well, you pay for everything. Does she work?
yeah,
You
yeah,
guys are married,
we have
right?
like a yeah, we're married, so we
Yeah, so
share
it's
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of credit cards, I would say we're at around 5,000 in debt.
Okay.
Now we have marge de crédit. I'm not sure any, like we have some loans that we did for renovations and things like that. So in
Huh.
total, we're talking about around 60,000.
Including the
So
credit card debt?
and, no, that's not credit card. That's for the loans because we did renovations on our house.
It's for sixty
So,
thousand dollars. You have
yeah.
car
So
notes?
no, our we own our car completely. So
Anything else? Student loan debt?
uh, well, we have our house, the the house loan. How we call that in English? I
How
forgot.
much do you owe? The mortgage.
Yeah, the mortgage exactly. So for
How
our
much?
mortgage, we have 320,000 left.
Three
320.
hundred and $20,000 left.
Yeah.
And what's your mortgage payment per month?
We pay around 1,700.
Okay, 1,700. Does she work or does she stay at home with the kids?
She works too, and we make about around the same salary.
So she makes an extra $3,300 a month.
Yeah, approx.
Okay. So you're looking at a household income, like well, monthly household income of $6,600, correct?
Yeah, and sometimes a little bit more when we work extra, right? So, but that's
Okay.
if we're being conservative, let's go with that number. Yeah.
Okay. So that's really good. Conservative is good for income, and then you always want to exaggerate, for example, your expenses because that way you always can guarantee you're gonna have money to cover everything. So this is not that bad, man. You're actually pretty good. So here's the first thing, right? The credit card debt. You have the renovation. You have the house you bought. And did you recently just buy this house? Or do you have kids now and stuff?
We bought it 2 years ago, right before the market went crazy. So on this, we were lucky, you know. So we bought
Yeah.
it in 2019. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if I'm you, man, right? First thing is, right? Whatever advice I give you, you have to understand that it doesn't matter unless your wife agrees, and you guys can actually work together because you guys are a solid team. So the advice I give you, I recommend you kind of like bring it up to your wife, and you kind of suggest these things to her too. So then that way you guys are on the same page. The first thing I would do is I would kind of just get like a budget. And this advice is going to sound very simple because it really is simple. What's hard is to actually follow through on all these things. So the first thing is get a budget. You put your expenses and your income on one side. In this case, you have $600 on one side. And then you put your necessities, which are shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation, and also, for example, health insurance in this case for you guys or whatever. So once you have that amount, you have that total, then on the other side, you include, for example, all of your other expenses, which will most likely include a lot of wants, right? Maybe like the Netflix, maybe like the subscription, maybe like this gym bill or whatever it is. And then you kind of go through them and you ask yourself, well, which ones can I lower? Which ones can I get rid of? Or which one can I just like replace with another company to save a lot more money or whatever? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it totally makes sense. And there's some stuff like, for instance, it's kind of a choice of lifestyle, but we love to travel, right? So we try to travel every year. But I know that if for like a few years we try to cut on the travel expenses, it would allow us maybe to
How much do you
to
spend on
focus on
vacation?
other. Well, for example, we just went to Paris a few months back, and it cost us. I mean, we have family there, so it wasn't too expensive in terms of accommodation, but the travel alone with two babies, it was like $2,000 for the plane tickets, and then you add some expenses for shopping and restaurants and whatnot. So,
How much
like
was the total amount you think?
for the 2 weeks, I would guess around 3,500 maybe,
Let's say 4,000.
3.5K.
Let's say 4,000. Right.
Yeah.
So you have, let's say we have a budget of $4,000 a year for vacations, right? And
Okay.
by the
Yeah.
way, I wouldn't go on vacation when this is my situation, but I also understand you guys have fair incomes and you guys have things that you guys want to do, right? So that's fine. Everyone has those things. If it makes your life like a little bit more rich in that sense, then that's fine. But if you have a
Yeah.
$4,000 expense a year and you divide it by 52, that's only like around like it's like 76, but you can say, hey, I'm gonna put aside $80. Honey, you put in 40, I put in 40, and that at the end of the year is gonna give us enough money to go on vacation. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a very small number relative to everything else. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't really matter that much. What matters a lot
Yeah.
is everything else is in your expenses. So the
Yeah.
budget
Because.
you create it with your own stuff, right? So if you want to include vacation in there, you say, well, per week when we get paid or bi-weekly, let's set aside this $80 or 160, and that way we can go on vacation every single year without worrying about it. You know that's money that's not gonna be paying off debt, but then you know the sacrifice you're making. It's like you guys, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So first step is you got the budget, so you know what's going on. You cut off all the things that you can cut off that you want to cut off. I'll cut off everything that's not a necessity. Include everything that's actually in your budget. Don't skip over anything, and then you focus all of the extra income towards paying off debt. How would I pay off the debt? I use the Avalanche Method. It basically means you pay the debt with the highest APR, which means you pay the debt with the highest interest. Make sense?
Okay.
That way you save
What's the
money
name of that
mathematically.
technique? I didn't hear properly. What's the name of the technique you call?
It's called the Avalanche Method. Like like when
Avalanche.
snow is falling and they say
Yeah. Yeah.
avalanche. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
Avalanche
it's
method.
just called the Avalanche Method. You just pay the one with the highest APR. In this case, it'll probably be the credit card first. Then it would be, for example, the house renovations. By the way, the house renovations, did you include it into the mortgage? Did you guys package it that way by
Yeah.
refinancing
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
no?
We exactly. Yeah, it's included in the mortgage, so we have like a lower interest rate, I guess.
So is it 320 total or is it 380 total?
Total, actually, because there's even like a loan in like our mortgage is separated in three products, right? So there's the conventional mortgage that's like 322. There's a 25 that was a loan for the renovation, and then we have like the remaining is like a loan that we can use like a margin, or I don't know how it's called in
You have a
US.
HELOC. Is it called a HELOC? Is it a house you have a house credit card basically.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And every time we pay our mortgage, like the limit gets higher. So
yeah. So look, so I would
so
pay.
basically, like the total of those three products, so like the entire mortgage
Yeah.
is actually right now sitting at exactly 396 because I used that mortgage credit card, like you
Mm.
call it, to pay some debt we had for credit cards before.
Yeah,
So we have a
it's called
lower.
a HELOC. So what you're doing is you're just transferring debt
Yeah,
from one place to the other place, right? It's called a home
yeah, to get a
equity
lower.
line of credit. So here's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
would do, right? Those are not the same terms as you get, for example, with the fixed rate. They can actually call those things. So
yeah,
break everything down correctly. Use the
yeah,
Avalanche method in this case, right? So if you find out that let's say in this case you have an income of $6,600 and you're spending $4,000 or $3,000 a month in necessities and you have left $3,000 to go towards like all of these things, I would grab
yeah,
all the extra money, pay the credit card debt first, because again, right, the good thing about the credit card debt is A, it has a very high interest rate, not good for you, but B, they're not going to just go ahead and call it on you. With the HELOC, you
mm-hmm.
have that possibility potentially, right? And it just adds
Okay,
extra stress on your whole house thing. So I would pay the $5,000 on the credit card with your monthly income, right? If you're putting aside $3,000, you're looking at like a month and a half, a month and 2 weeks, you're done there with the credit card debt. And then
okay,
after that, you focus on the other $60,000, which is basically, hey, $60,000 divided by $3,000, that's 20 months, which in this case would be around a year and 6 months or something like that. So, boom, in a year and 6 months, you're done with that part. And then all you have left over is just the mortgage. The mortgage, you kind of ignore for now, but then you kind of just like, once you're done with the debt part, everything that's not the actual conventional mortgage, you focus on saving up for 6 months to 3 months worth of emergencies. So in this case, that means whatever your monthly expenses actually are, multiply it by 3 or by 6, and you save that much money on the side. So you're not investing money right now. You're not saving money right now. If you want to save, for example, $1,000, have it on the side in case something happens, great, that's fine. But your main focus is going to be on just using all of this extra income to pay this off as fast as possible. Everything except the actual conventional mortgage. Okay?
okay, okay. Yeah, just about this point of the emergency fund, we actually have a small one at the moment. It's
How
maybe
much do you
not
have?
exactly 3 months. Well, we have right now we have 4,000 something, so 4,300 approximately.
Yeah, so then you have a few options here with the emergency fund, right? Because the normal idea is what I recommend is you just need $1,000. So, but again, I don't know your situation, I don't know your family, and I don't know how secure you feel at your job. If you feel like you have a fairly secure job, working, for example,
Yeah,
in the health sector, and your wife also has a very secure job, then you're probably good to go. But if you want to keep it, that's fine, because in 1.5 months you'll be done with the credit card. But if you want to say, well, I'm gonna keep 1,000, take 3,000, pay off the credit card debts, not really pay it off, but lower it down to 2,000, and then pay that off in like a week and a half or 2 weeks, and then just recoup a little bit. No, because it doesn't make sense that way, because you still have this massive $6,000. So if I were you, and I'm being
yeah,
frank and honest here, I would keep the $4,000 in there because you have it in there for a
mhm,
reason. It probably makes you feel a little safe. And then
yeah,
because I have such a high income with me and my wife, I'm just going to focus on paying off the credit card debt and the renovations.
yeah,
Most likely, this is going to take you around a year and 7 months in total, a year and 8 months in total to actually finish this whole thing off. And you can still include your vacations within your budget, but it's not going to be a lot of going out and all this extra stuff. But you can get creative though. Make sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in maximum 2 years, we should be done
Yeah.
paying all our debt except the
Yeah.
mortgage, obviously.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
if you look at it from a 2 years point of view, right? Because you have $65,000 in debt. That's what you really have, and if you divide it by 24, that's a monthly amount of $2,700. Do you
Yeah.
have enough money left over to pay $2,700, or no,
Per month, you mean, or like I didn't
per
follow very
month?
well. 27, like $2,700 per month.
Yeah, do you have enough for that?
Well, at the moment, the way I set it up is that I have automatic transfers, right? So every time we like bi-weekly, every
How
two
much
weeks when
money
we
do you
get
have left over after you're done with your budget?
well around 1,500 in the account, yeah. Like
Okay,
after paying everything, around 1,500.
so check this out, right? This is called a bare bone budget. It's called, you have shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. In this case, your cars are paid off. Congrats, right? But you have
Yeah.
shelter. How much are you paying on the mortgage? You said 1,700, right?
Yep.
And how much is that? Does that include the insurance, the taxes, all that stuff?
Well, I mean, insurance is because we both, my wife and I, we work in the healthcare sector, but for the public, like for the government, right? So we have like this program where they just take it off the salary directly. So the insurance is like, so when I tell you
No,
our
I mean property
yeah.
insurance.
Yeah, property insurance is taken off my salary
Okay.
directly, off my pay. Like in my pay stub, there's like a line for insurance. So
Okay.
it's
So would you say that shelter cost is just 1,700?
pretty much, yeah. Like I
Okay.
mean, there's electricity bills maybe that you could
Okay. That
consider.
that's
Like
where
it's
we
around
come
200.
into utilities, right? Utilities now. So
Okay,
now
okay.
you have lights, water, gas, Wi-Fi, and phones. How much would you say you spend on
Yeah,
those five things?
let's say 250 per month
On,
because
on
we're in Quebec, so it's pretty cheap.
Okay, let's say $300 just in case.
Okay, let's do
Groceries. How much do
300.
you spend on that?
Groceries, I would say around 700 per month because we
Okay.
have the babies and all.
Let's
Yeah.
say $800 per month.
Okay.
Transportation, insurance, gas, maintenance.
Transportation, let's say mm,
Insurance, gas,
400.
maintenance.
400
You drive a
maybe.
lot?
Yeah, we live far from work, so maybe 350 maybe.
Let's say
Let's say
400
from
is
the
fine.
income for
And then you
yeah.
have, for example, right? This is for fun. This is not included. It's supposed to be included. You're saying, hey Tommy, we actually want to put aside per month 320 for our vacations, right? Remember that? So you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have the whole amount. So you're looking at $1,700 for shelter. You're looking at $300. By the way, do you do daycare for your kids or no?
yeah. There's daycare too, of course.
How
Yeah.
much is that?
So daycare, hold on, the amount just changed. I'll let you know the exact. Okay, it's around 200 a month.
It's ridiculously cheap. All right,
Yeah,
so
you should move to Quebec.
it's a lot cheaper in Puerto Rico, trust me. But thank you for the offer. So you have $200 for daycare. You have $1,700 for shelter. You have $300 for utilities. You have $800 for groceries, and you have $400 for transportation, and then you have $320 for your vacations. Correct?
Yeah, conservative numbers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that is $3,720. Tommy, conservatively, we make $6,600. So when we minus those numbers, we have a leftover amount of $2,880. Where's the rest of that money going? I'm not. That's what you got to find out. You
yeah.
understand what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, totally. I mean, mathematically, it all makes sense.
Yeah. So if you have
uh, yeah,
$2,880, right? Think about this, right?
yeah,
$2,880 multiplied by 24 in 2 years, it's a $69,000. So you have an extra
yeah.
$5,000 because you only have
Mhm.
$65,000 in debt. So you got to be in agreement with your wife and say, well, we're not going to be going out that often anymore or doing extra stuff or paying for this or paying for that, but we can still budget in our vacations every single year, which is like a little break. But you got to really like want this, which by the way, this whole thing I'm telling you is it's not just for like for being out of debt, but it's also because it's like a plan for financial freedom if that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay. Do you think that's possible for you guys to get into agreement with when it's like you're saying like because their income is there to be able to do this right now with your budget is $1,000 left over, but with the bare necessities including vacations and also daycare, you're looking at $2,800 left over actually.
And also it makes sense when I look at my bank account right now, and I was telling you I had like 1,500 left right now, and everything is paid. Like all my bills are paid.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that like times two, like for the
Yeah.
month, like by weekly, so that's around 3,000. So
Yeah.
makes
And
sense.
and, and I would tell you
Uh,
one thing, Fred. Get in the habit of having your money separated, right? If you have a savings account just for like where all your money lands, have a separate one for your bills, another separate one for your normal day-to-day expenses. That way, you're not like at the end of the month saying like, "Oh, I don't know where the money went," because you guys have a very high income, and you only have $4,000 in your emergency fund. It's ridiculous. And I know, and I understand. For example, you guys have kids, but you guys also have a very high income and live in a place where things are not that expensive. Okay. So to summarize here, we have a budget, right? A real bare bone necessity budget with utilities, groceries, transportation, shelter, vacations, and daycare, because it's kind of like the way you want it. And then you have, for example, the money over, you put that towards debt. You'll be done in 2 years. And then all the extra money that's left over, you're using that to build yourself up an emergency fund for 6 months or 3 months. So that'll take you like another 3 to 6 months. Boom, you have that. So now you have that confidence. But by the way, since you have a government job, potentially, you're probably not a high risk for getting fired. But it's also great not to rely on the government or anyone. Okay, so that's why you want your emergency fund. And then you focus on investing, right? So you're investing into your 401k, your retirement account. Just invest 10 to 20%. All the extra money that's left over, you put it towards the mortgage to pay it off like a lot faster, to be done with it. And with your income, by the time you're done paying it off, which will probably be like in 8 to 12 years instead of 30 years, well, guess what? In 8 to 12 years, you have this massive investment account that's already built up, maybe like $200,000-$300,000 in there. And then you also have, for example, a paid off mortgage, which basically means, Tommy, my monthly expenses went from $37.20 to now, because I don't have a mortgage anymore, to only, for example, $2,000. But by this point, Tommy, I have no mortgage, I have an emergency fund, I have no debt, and I also have a good amount of money in my investment accounts. So what does this mean? It means we have $4,000 plus every single month to do whatever the heck we want to do with. If you want to go on a vacation every single month, I don't care, because you can afford it. If you want to invest more, you can do it. As far as this whole passive income thing that you're trying to do and make extra money, that's fine, honestly, but you already have all the tools that you actually need. But when I'm looking for like a side hustle, I look for something that I like, I'm good at, and it's gonna make me money. If you're into like the healthcare stuff, into like construction, then you might have an eye for real estate, right? Potentially. So you could possibly do that, but I wouldn't do it until I'm basically like fully debt free with this whole financial plan, because real estate can be risky, right? Okay. So that's my whole. If you want to do something on the side,
you would wait
go ahead.
So you would wait like minimum 2 years before, like, so that we're done with our debt before starting something new. Basically.
No, this is not a 2-year plan, brother. This is a 14-year plan I just gave you, if you noticed. It's a long ass time. And
no,
how old? You're 29, right?
No, because about when you say that a side hustle maybe is not even necessary.
I mean a side hustle that doesn't take any money. If it's a side hustle to build income, you wouldn't have to use money at all. I think you mentioned that last time things didn't go well for you, right? I think it was like was it you with the whole sneaker thing? That wasn't you, right? That was you?
Yeah, it's me. Like, actually, like 3 years ago, I started I got into like the resale game for sneakers, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and it's kind of a bit of it's quite risky, and I wasn't also willing to invest thousands. Like the good thing is I only invested a few hundreds.
Yeah.
And like I still have the sneakers. I mean, there are still like assets in the way.
Yeah.
But
I mean, sell them.
So,
but my point is, right, there are a lot of side hustles out there that don't require any money. Like, that's my point, right? So the definition of a side hustle is just you making money on the side, doing something that you're kind of like a little passionate about. That's really what it is. It doesn't have to be like this massive thing. Do you like your job?
I do like my job, and it also gives me time. Like, it's not a job that I have to work 70 hours a week or anything. So
so look at it, right? You're 29 plus 14. You're done with this whole game by 43.
Yeah.
It seems crazy, man, because it's such a long time, but those are the steps. And if you're able to say, Tommy, you know what, I'm gonna do something on the side, whether it's like a little second job or a little freelancing here and there. And when you're trying something new, give it like a good amount, like at least like 6 to 12 months on one thing until you figure out this is good or this is not good. But that's really it, man. If you can earn an extra $2,000 a month, that's money that you can basically use for your vacations. And that way, all the extra money from your income just goes towards the debt to be done with your goals a lot faster.
Yeah.
But you're good, bro. You really are good.
Thanks. Thanks. It's just that I just wanted to do like to choose a side hustle. Like for example, I watched your video about the NFT world,
That's
right?
not a side hustle.
And
That's a massive speculative thing. And by the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
remember, right? I'm a YouTuber. So my business is creating content for an audience that is interested in that thing and educate them. I make
yeah,
those videos because I have to. I
yeah,
am not an investor in speculative stuff. I always say I'm
yeah,
the boring guy on YouTube investing into boring things that are making me rich
yeah.
step by step. That's what I do.
No, no. But what I was about to say
Hmm.
is in terms of NFTs, like I actually have the skills to create them, like to make like beautiful 3D stuff. All right.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about just like trying it out and just like creating a collection of NFTs, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, too bad.
Well,
But
guess what?
I don't know.
That's a little side project, man. You're not gonna quit your
Yeah,
job on it. So if you have the time to do that, then do it. If it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't work out. But I wouldn't
yeah,
stop you
yeah,
from doing anything, man. But what I would stop you from doing is diverting money from this plan into like some funny idea to kind of set you back. Make sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah,
So those
because
ideas are solid.
it's true that I really have to prioritize on paying my debt, and that's like the number one goal. Yeah,
Yeah, and just like you see how your job has everything, for example, like sectioned out, and when you get paid, you see like, oh, you already paid Social Security, you already paid this, you already paid that. Same thing with you.
mm,
So have your bills automated, have your debt payments automated, so that way everything is taken care of. And the faster you're done with all
yeah,
this stuff, the better it's going to be. And it's not like a massive sacrifice because you can still go on vacation every single year with your wife. So it
yeah,
probably won't be that hard to convince her potentially, but it's a hard sell though. It's a hard sell. I'll tell you that.
yeah, yeah.
All
No,
right,
it's
man.
just good. Yeah, yeah. So basically, like it's just figuring things out. It's just like
Hmm.
financially sometimes it's kind of complex, but I mean, just talking to you, like you broke it down perfectly, and it's really helpful. Yeah.
All right. Awesome, Fred. Thank you so much, man. Any more questions or you're good?
No, I'm good. That's.
All
I
right.
think yeah, you gave me the best advices I could
All right,
ask
man.
for.
Awesome. Well, Fred, I do want to say something, man. Congratulations on your two beautiful kids. You're doing very
Thank you.
well for yourself at age 29. I really mean that. And welcome to the long-term team. These calls, bro, they're not a one-time thing. So if midway through this plan you talk to your wife and you're like, I need more details, Tommy, or whatever it is, you can always feel free to schedule another call, and I will call you again. All calls are free. Okay, so don't worry about that. All right, brother.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that 14-year plan, and keep on
So
hustling.
it's a long ass plan, huh? We're gonna be together for a while, bro.
Yeah. We need to book yearly sessions to see how it
Yeah,
evolves.
yeah. But you got this, man. Yeah, you got this, man. You're doing great. All right, Fred.
Thanks,
Peace
Tommy.
out, man.
Thanks.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. So that right there was Fred, man. And sometimes, every now and then, you run into people that are just like a pleasure to talk to. That guy was absolutely amazing, man. And he has an amazing income. But then you see, guys, sometimes you think like, oh, I don't have any money. I only have $1,000 left over after the month. Like you're talking about, you guys make $6,600 a month, right? Multiply by, and by the way, that's net. That's a $79,000 income. But you're telling me, Tommy, we only can keep, for example, 12,000, and we have to spend $67,000. That's ridiculous. You can do a lot better than that, and that's why I always break things down into that. Hey, what are your core expenses? And then you kind of figure things out from there. That's the idea, guys. Okay, but overall, great call. If you guys want to join me on my next call, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and the link is down below for free calls all the time, forever. Potentially, get in while you still can. On top of that, here's more content, and up here is my face. Click subscribe. Peace out. Long-term team is officially out. Good luck, Fred.